get that going. Get scoring up. Oh shoot. Jacob, give me 1 second. I'm gonna switch some tabs around real quick.
You're good.
I just realized this is how I had it the other night. I had the YouTube feed up on my one monitor and then scoring in front of me because it's easier to get to. Okay. That's what I done Thursday night. Thursday night turned out pretty good too, even though I came in late. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Week 8.
Week 8. Okay, good thing I just said that too because my microphone was unplugged. Huh. Wow. Okay, let's lock in here. Come on now. Week 8.
Let me know when you are ready.
Yeah, man, anytime.
3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to week number 7 of the Ratfink Racing League Tuesday Night Truck Series. My name is William Tiller. I am joined by Jacob Williams, the man doing 2 jobs, giving you all the sights and sounds, and co-commentating up here in the booth. And Jacob, this week we're at Lucas Oil Speedway, the sister track of the big track down this street. What are folks in store for coming off a great win, a breakthrough win of John Crosby last week?
Man, so it's going to be a different style of race this today, just with this track. It's a lot of short racing compared to Atlanta. Roughly a lap is about 21 to 23 seconds, depending upon who you are. So, it's a lot more strategy, trying to figure out the tire wear. And, hopefully we don't get into a lot of cautions this evening. We do have a pretty big field. I would say roughly about 28 guys.
Nice.
28, 29. So we'll see if we get any green reflag runs and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, there are only 3 sets of tires. If this is your first week joining us here in the Ratfink Racing League, no fast repairs as well. So if you see your favorite driver get tangled up in this big field of trucks, as we've talked about here, it might be the end of their night. 150 laps, though, here at short track, but it will go quickly, though, folks. So stay just locked in to the drop of that green flag. The races we've had so far, week by week, have gotten more and more intense. The finishes have been more and more crazy each week. And Jacob, I can only assume we're going to have the same thing here tonight as the drivers are warming up. And, I talked about John Crosby breaking through last week. He's one of those drivers that gives us that behind the scenes point of view. And he was one of those guys that I have to say had bad luck leading up to last week, but just had one of those great strategies to close out the night.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the win from last week, we'll kind of take a look at the current standings that we have going on right now. And with that, he was down currently 2 spots, and that put him in the podium spot for the championship. We currently have Jordan leading the run, Ryan Philbrick, and then now John at that point knocked down Tom. So we'll see if he can't keep it going for a second week in a row.
Yeah, one of those drivers on that list there, around that 5th spot, Thomas Wynn in that 71 machine, always good. Always top 10, top 5 each week, week in and week out. Just one of those guys we're just waiting to break through. But we see how hard it is to break through in this league, Jacob, with only 2 wins, Jordan Tross, 2 wins, Ryan Philbrick. Of course, John Crosby broke through, and some of those names you don't see. Brody Disher has broken through, Dakota Reeder as well. You see that win right there at the bottom of the column there. But 7 weeks in, it's getting to be one of those crazy, crazy seasons. Only about 31 points separates 4th and the top of the point standings there. And I'm sure after tonight, we've had different winners 3 weeks, about 4 weeks in a row, Jacob, if I'm not mistaken. For to start this season, we had back-to-back winners. So I can only assume we have a new name in Victory Lane here tonight as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We have quite a few new faces tonight that's joined us. So we'll kind of see, what kind of shakeup we get within the field. Again, we always tend to lean towards, look at him right now pulling out of the pit lane, Jordan Tross. Him and Nate Lesko typically lead towards the front. So we'll see if some of these newcomers kind of put them on their toes.
As it looks like the warm-up is just about to wrap up here. Just a few more trucks are getting a few more runs, and I feel like this is going to be one of those races that once that green flag waves, you're not going to have any time to think about anything. But it is time to think about that starting grid here. The Ratfink Racing League, as qualifying is all set, so is our starting grid. Let's kick it off with row number 1. Rolling off in the pole position, a winner this season in the 85, Dakota Reeder, with a back-to-back winner, Ryan Philbrick, on that first row. Row number 2 is going to have Nate Lesko switching up paint schemes here tonight, and Brody Disher, one of those winners here as well. Jordan Tross, one of those winners, going to roll off 5th, and next to him, John Crosby, last week's winner. Row number 4 is going to have Thomas winning the 71, and Mark Holloway. Row number 5 is going to accompany by Tony Burleson and Brandon Hitton in the 5, also switching up paint schemes. Row number 6 going to have Cody Deek and Todd Perrant. And I'll throw it to you, Jacob, to close out our starting grid.
Yes, sir. So we in row 7, we have Tom Ringer and Justin Clapper. Row number 8, we have Victor Etheridge and Justin Carey. Row number 9, Jonathan McIntosh and Tyler Waltz. Row 10, we have Colton Jackson, and it says Jessica Bowman, but it's actually Andy Bowman. Yes. Row number 11, we have Brandon Yates and Keith Vaughn. Row number 12, we have Anthony Harden and Brian Sousa. Row number 13, Chad Thompson and brother Brent Thompson right next to him. Row 14, we have Zachary Wynn and Sean Dion. That'll be the end of our rolling grid at this point.
Quite a field of trucks to kick off week number 7 here in the Ratfink Racing League. As we see, the pace lights are off, the Iracing pace car. Let's get things rocking and rolling. Coming off an exciting week of racing at Atlanta, it's time to go short track racing here on a Tuesday night as Dakota Reader Ryan Philbrick will take the field around the corner, and we are thundering and lightning into corner number 1 as this race kicks off officially. Whoa, big checkup already out of Ryan Philbrick in the 06 as Brody Disher in the 36 had to check up right on that back bumper. See the 85 of Dakota Reader right on the outside. Oh, Brody Disher already in the wall. Brody Disher nose first in the wall at that start-finish line.
And then we had a couple of guys checking up towards the back. Let's see if...
Whoa, no! John Crosby doing a little Tokyo drifting down the backstretch. Seems to be okay, though, Jacob. Nobody makes contact, but the caution is out for the first time here at Lucas Oil.
Yeah, let's kind of see what happened here. It looked like he had just kind of gotten loose a little bit coming out of turn 2 at that point.
Let's check it out here. That's coming off of 4, and we saw on that first lap, everybody just a little squirrely off of that final corner. And I think maybe the 73 is just a little bit too low on the exit. That looks like 2 there. Just a little bit too low as he tries to come back up the racetrack. And I think maybe just gets on the gas a little bit too quick there.
Yeah.
Ooh. Boy, as that Thunder and Herd was able to avoid him down the backstretch. Could have been disastrous here at the first caution.
Absolutely. So we'll see how many more we will have coming up this evening. Hopefully we keep it to a minimum at this point, because if not, it's going to be a long race.
As we are just a few laps in here to Lucas Oil, first caution of the night. Didn't have much damage involved as we had one truck go a little Tokyo drifting down the backstretch. Did look a little chaotic, though, at the start of the race. We had a big checkup at a Ryan Philbrick in the 06. The 36 of Brody Disher went right on that back bumper there. As you see, everybody's just getting ready for this restart. Here we are live on YouTube here in the Ratfink Racing League as we are under caution. If you could go ahead and like and subscribe to this Tuesday night racing action. We also go live on Thursday nights with those next gens, Jacob. So quite a week of iRacing action here in the Ratfink Racing League.
Yes, sir. We'll be live on Thursday at Kentucky. We'll kind of see if John, again, he was our last week's winner, see if he can get back on the podium as well.
Said some history last week there, winning in 2 different series twice in the same week. So one in the truck series here on Tuesday nights and then took home the victory in the next gen. So what a way to totally switch machines there. And we asked John about that. What does it take to go from the trucks to the next gen? And he basically said you have to forget everything that you learned in the trucks to get into the next gen car, because the next gen car is just completely different from the trucks. So 2 totally different strategies, 2 totally different race plans. Was able to pull off that victory last Thursday. See if he can get a job done here tonight. It's going to be an uphill battle, though, Jacob, as he was involved in our first caution of the night. Essentially going to start at the tail end of the pack now with that spin out on the backstretch.
Yeah, dropping roughly 22 spots.
Oof.
Like where you said, yeah, towards
yikes.
Towards that back.
No,
like
thank
said,
you.
We have a pretty big field this evening too, so we'll see how he makes his way towards the front.
We'll see now as the iRacing pace car pulls off once again. It will be Ryan Philbrick, Dakota Reader, Nate Lesko. You might not recognize him. No Nesquik on that machine here tonight. Brody Disher up there as well. Jordan Tross, our top 5 as we come off a corner number 4. Let's try this again as Ryan Philbrick takes the green flag. Dakota Reader right there on the outside. Brody Disher will follow. Nate Lesko to the inside around 1 and 2. Now down the backstretch.
We got Brody and who was that? Nate on the inside. Oh, Nate's not running the chocolate milk scheme anymore.
Switched it up with the Spectrum paint scheme on that machine. Now maybe trying to shake off a little bit of that bad luck as Dakota Reader is just trying to hold off everybody there in that second spot.
I know. We're going to take a look at Mark Holloway and Thomas Wynn kind of in, the P6 and the P7 position. Tony Burleson making the pass on Brandon Hinton at that point.
We're just about 3 wide, also just outside of the top 10 there. All sorts of drivers on the racetrack here trying to jockey for position. That's the 97 machine of Tony Burleson, as you mentioned, to the inside of Brandon Hinton, who's also rocking a different paint scheme here tonight, ditching the usual Monster paint scheme for the Goodyear paint scheme.
Yeah, no, he was sharing quite a few paint schemes of some different alternatives, and I think this is the one that he had ended up landing on.
Oh, caution's out. Caution's out. Second caution of the night here from Lucas Oil. Not sure what may have happened there as we were watching the action.
Let's see here.
Let's check it out here.
This is Andy Bowman. Looks like he just got loose.
Yeah, and I'd be curious if we could ride on board with him there, Jacob. I think he may have just come, it looks like, on the apex of the corner. Maybe just got on the gas just a little bit too soon there, like John Crosby. As you enter the corner, you're letting off to ride that corner around. See the RPMs drop. And then he's going to try to get back onto the gas. See, now he's in the corner. Yeah, it just came in way too hot.
Yeah. Backhand came out from underneath him at that point.
Yep, and when he thought about letting go of the gas, that truck had already left the chat, so to say.
Yes, sir.
As we are under caution for the second time here at Lucas Oil, but the cautions have come quick and fast as they've only involved one truck, solo crashes, if you will, here, Jacob. No damage also to those trucks. It just spins down the inside of the racetrack, just a little bit too heavy on the gas pedal on exits of the corner. As Ryan Philbrick's leading the way in that 06, we have 150 laps here tonight at Lucas Oil. Dakota Reeder right there in that second spot. Jordan Tross, Nate Lesko, Mark Holloway, Thomas Wynn, Tony Burleson, Brandon Hinton, and Justin Clapper now cracking inside of that top 10. He's making a big run. He's one of our biggest movers of the race so far in that 63.
Yeah, and Justin Clapper, again, he's one of our heavy, I don't want to say aggressive, but he tends to push the envelope a little bit sometimes, but I enjoy it because it kind of puts the guys on their toes, and we'll kind of take a on board with him currently, but he's one of my favorite to see push the guys to the edge.
Absolutely, and we appreciate Justin for giving us this behind the scenes point of view. We love to see those setups there. And especially last week, we were able to see the behind-the-scenes point of view of John Crosby winning that race and the excitement or the relief that came over John Crosby's face. And with Justin giving us this behind-the-scenes point of view, also rocking the brand-new Dodge merch. You see that there in the background as well, Jacob?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I wouldn't say new. If you're familiar with NASCAR, I'd say it's coming back, the Dodge. As Ryan Philbrick, Dakota Reeder on the top side of the grid right now. The pace car pulls off once again. We're going to go racing here at Lucas Oil to see if we can stay clean, as there's been 2 trucks involved in those cautions. Ryan Philbrick will take the field once again across that start-finish line. Big move to the outside to block in the entry of the corner. He is trying to hold off Dakota Reeder. Now back to the top side of the racetrack. Nate Lesko, Brody Disher will go door-to-door off of 2. No wasting time for position. 3 wide back there, Jacob. 3 wide.
Oh, man, look at that. Three wide all the way across the board at that point. Almost 4.
Woo! Todd Perrant finds himself there in a truck sandwich right in the middle lane. I don't think you're supposed to do that here at Lucas Oil. That's also Victor Etheridge there in that 6 machine to the inside. He's had big runs this season so far. That's also the 33. These are some trucks that are trying to get inside of that top 10. That's Todd Perrant in that 69. Oh, truck sideways. That's Victor Etheridge. Victor Etheridge sideways off of 4. Off of 4, the 6 slides. Oh, man. That's commentator's curse. It happened again. Just as I mentioned the 6. Oh, man. Oh, no.
Let's take it back really quick.
Just as I was talking about the big runs he's had this season, he's going to have an even bigger run into the entry of 3 and 4.
And just gets loose.
That's that same. This track, as simple as it may look for the folks at home watching along with us here on YouTube, it is one of the most intricate things of having to let go of the gas and essentially feather it on the exit of the corner. And you see Victor, he's already essentially sideways here. So his only option is try to get back on the gas, and the minute he touches that gas pedal, that truck is going to go sideways. And luckily for him, there was nobody there. And the more you try to let go of the gas, the more that thing's going to leave you, essentially. So you want to try to just feather it off of that corner. It's one of these intricate things with short track racing. You have to let off. So basically, you lose control of your truck for that split second, and then you have to figure out those points to get back on the gas. And if you get back on it too heavy, it's essentially what we're seeing here tonight with John Crosby, Victor Etheridge, and I believe we've had one other truck involved in a caution here tonight as well. But luckily for us, they're just solo cautions just down the inside of the racetrack. No other truck involved. And also for those guys involved in those cautions, no damage to their trucks either.
Yeah, no, that's good to see, especially after last week. There was a couple of tempers flaring in the group chat. Just from the wreck that we had with Jesse Gordon and Jordan Tross at that point. It's I don't remember who it was, but if they were in person, I think there would have been some fists thrown because it was getting pretty hot.
It was getting hot there in ATL. As right now we're about 3 cautions into this race. And as we're live here on YouTube, the Ratfink Racing League, it looks like the field is just about to get ready to rock and roll. Once again, we're going to go under caution for just one more time around this racetrack. As there's been no changes, no lead changes so far here in this race either.
Ryan the whole way at this point. It's good to see him back. I don't think he was here with us last week, so it's kind of, again, it's good to see him towards the front of the pack. That's something that we always expect from Ryan at that point.
Absolutely. Back-to-back winner on this season. Dakota Reeder has a win. Brody Disher has a win. Jordan Tross has a win. So essentially all of our winners on the top side of the grid right now. We look at Mark Holloway also up 3 spots on the top side of the grid. Justin Clapper, the biggest mover of the race so far, up 6 spots since the drop of the green flag. But here we go, folks. Pace car has pulled off. Ryan Philbrick is ready. Dakota Reeder as well in that 85. The engines are thundering. There goes. Big restart out of the 06 as he wastes no time getting to the top side of the racetrack to block that 85. There goes Brody Disher to the inside. 36 to go door-to-door with the 85 off of the corner. Down the backstretch, here comes Jordan Tross. We know how good he can be there in that 75 machine. Ryan Philbrick will stay top side of the racetrack. And caution flag waves. Caution waves.
Caution of the 9. Let's see. Oh man, Nate, let's go. Let's see what happened here.
Oh, oof. And this one, it will involve some damage. And it will involve a driver that we seem to talk about every week, but not for the reasons I don't think he would enjoy. As it looks like coming off of 2, he just runs out of racetrack there, Jacob. Just the line may have gotten crossed a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like he kind of came up into Andy Bowman a little bit of a checkup right there between Andy and Victor Etheridge. Let's see who might else be involved in that point. Looks like it's just those 3 at that. It's that ball.
And we talked about how Nate was probably switching up the paint schemes just to see if that was the trick. And unfortunately, that doesn't work for him either here tonight. That's going to be heavy front-end damage there to the 20. Gosh, that's going to be tough for that 20 machine again. Nate Lesko. Looks as though here tonight, though, may have not had the truck early on. Jacob looked like, though, his lap times weren't the best. He was starting to slip a little bit outside of that top 10. just probably wasn't going to be his night anyhow for any consolation. But who knows with the 20? He gives us good runs every week here in Ratfink Racing. Well, now we'll just have to wait and see what he has in store for us next week, unfortunately, for that 20.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I mean, I know he's in the pits currently. We'll see how much damage he possibly has and see if he can't get back out. I mean, it looks like he's back on the lead lap at this point. Let's see if he ended up coming back out.
It looks like he may be out on the racetrack. Yeah, there we go. All right, giving us something. There we go, Nate. Back on the racetrack. Here we go. Not giving up.
Yeah, put a little bit of a duct tape on there, a couple hammers, and fix the hood a little bit. And
we'll get it right. It looks a little crooked on the racetrack. He'll be all right, though. We'll be all right.
I'm sure there'll probably be another caution, so we'll see if he can't, work his way back up.
Get the duct tape, hammers out, get that thing racing, and who knows? We're only about 25 laps into this race. So what could happen? We could have even more pileups, and it could be Nate's night. Just make me eat my words at the end of the night. As the pace lights are off of that pace car, Ryan Philbrick still leading the way. He has a newcomer on that top row, and that is Brody Disher in the 36. Dakota Reeder not far off, though, down to third. Jordan Tross right there in fourth. Justin Clapper up to fifth. Thomas Wynn sixth. Tony Burleson seventh. Mark Holloway in that eighth spot. Cody Deek up to ninth. And look at Thomas Ringer up inside the top 10 in that 68 machine.
Yeah, good old Tom Ringer, our leader-in-chief, part of RFRL. Shout out to him.
As the field goes thundering back into one, Ryan Philbrick in the 06 will take us racing for the fourth time here. As we're back on the greens, the 85 and the 36 will go side to side off of two. They're racing for that second position. I do see a truck pull out of line there. That looks like outside of that top 15, though. As Dakota Reeder goes to the inside of the 36, they'll go door to door off the exit of two. We are clean. As Ryan Philbrick still leading the way.
At this point, Jordan Tross putting the gas pedal on Justin Clapper towards that top four right there. Let's see if Jordan can slowly work his way back up towards the front.
It's a 79. Oh, man. It's a 79 of Jordan Tross. Really had to avoid the 85 at Dakota Reeder on the entrance of 1 and 2. Cody Deek, as I mentioned, he is up just inside of that top 10, but he is in a battle with Mark Holloway just inside of that top 10. Tom Ringer down there. Justin Carey also battling out for a top 10 spot. Last week's winner, John Crosby, we saw him involved in that first caution. He's now trying to crack back inside of that top 10, just on the inside of Justin Carey in that 33. A lot of moving and shaking inside. Oh, we have a truck inside of the wall. That looks like Todd Perrott in the 69.
Yeah, Todd Perrott and Tyler Waltz had to check up a little bit. Almost got into the back end of one another.
There's the 33, Justin Carey. You see him right there in that shot. The 66 also in the shot here as well. So these drivers just trying to be intricate in how they get around the racetrack. A lot of trucks taking the field here tonight. Jacob, as you mentioned, we had a field of just about 27 trucks take the track here tonight. And it looks like we only have just about one or two that have retired or called it a night. So it's just still about 26 trucks on the racetrack. The only one that is still running, it looks like everybody's still on the lead lap that is currently on the racetrack, as it looks like we have more trucks just trying to avoid that topside wall. Action starting to simmer down just a little bit now as Justin Carey, he is under fire in that 33 machine. That's just outside of the top 10.
Justin Carey is actually one of our onboard drivers as well. Pull him up real quick and see kind of how he's handling everything. Him and John are kind of battling right now. Look at him go.
Definitely trying to hold off John Crosby, trying to go back to back. But you see how aggressive the 73 is right on the back bumper of the 33 of Justin Carey as we're off of 4 here, 34 laps in. That's last week's winner. He was involved in our first caution of the night, and nothing happened. Just got a little loose off of 4, brought out that caution. Essentially went to the tail end of the lead pack. and now has hard charged his way back up through the field. Now right on the back bumper, that 33, but knowing Justin Carey, that is not going to be an easy task getting around that 33 here on the racetrack. As it looks like the racing has simmered down just a little bit as we have just about completed our longest run under green so far here tonight as our race leader Ryan Philbrick in that 06. And, you know, I'm not calling it just yet here, but for the 06, I'm sure he is missing victory lane. It has been quite a while for Ryan Philbrick after going back-to-back essentially to start the season. Hasn't seen victory lane for about 3 or 4 weeks since then. As right now we have a battle for second. That's Dakota Reeder in the 85. And the 36, a Brody Disher going side to side for second. Coming off the corner now. Big runs out of the 85. Has a victory on the season. Brody Disher has a victory as well. As Jordan Tross, one of the top dogs in the series, if you will, has essentially watch. Oh no! As the 36 touches that top side wall off of 2, Jacob almost collects Jordan Tross, who will go to the outside. And Jordan will clear the 36 here off of the corner. Big run here down the backstretch. 36 of Brody Disher. Just trying to follow along here. Meanwhile, Ryan Philbrick just pulling away with that lead. Has just about a second and a half. But as we talked about, 3 sets of tires for these trucks here tonight. So we're going to be creeping up on that window here just in a little while. As Thomas wins under fire from the 13 of Cody Deek. This is for a top 10 spot. Thomas Wynn up to 6th. Great run out of the 71 so far here tonight. Definitely feeling the pressure though. Watch out. Whoa. Whoa. Oh my goodness gracious. Body shots out of the 13 and the 71 just going at the quarter panels. What a drive out of the 71 to keep that thing together as they go down the backstretch.
Yeah, no, I don't think you could even squeeze a piece of paper through that. At that point.
Boy, there goes the 13 again. Whoa! Wow! Almost again.
Yeah, we'll see if Thomas can pull this off and get himself a top 10 at this in this race.
There is quite a separation though between the 71 and the 63 5th and 6th. There is about a second difference between those two trucks. So as much the battle the 71's doing here to hold down that 6th position, he does need to make up some ground to catch that next spot for that 5th spot. As these drivers right now, looks as though we're starting to get a little loose on the racetrack. You're starting to see more trucks drift up to the top side. Start to become acquaintance with that top side wall, if you will. There's the 56. That's Mark Holloway. Todd Perrant in the shot there as well. As we cross the start-finish line here, 43 laps in. That's the 54 machine. That's Tyler Waltz. Looks like everybody is rocking just a little bit different paint schemes here tonight. I do like the rims of the 54 machine. That kind of that baby blue, Carolina blue, if you will, there on that Jordan machine.
So now, Will, at this point, with how everyone's getting, looks like everyone's kind of getting a little tight with the tire wear that they're receiving currently with this green run that we currently have. How much longer do you think we'll have until you start seeing people enter the pits at this point?
I would have to assume you're going to start seeing those strategies start to play out here. And what I mean is those early runs or those long run strategies. You'll start to see packs either head in here in this early window or try to stretch just out. And for Ryan Philbrick, our race leader, I'd have to assume he's going to be on one of those later pit strategies. And it's going to be happening here. I'd have to think here in the next 10 laps or so, you're going to start seeing trucks head down pit road. Lap times are starting to go down into the 23s. That's starting to kind of go up the board here. 22.9s across the board. 22.9 all the way up to about that 4th or 5th spot. And caution's out. 5th caution of the night here at Lucas Oil. We're just about to have a battle between the 63 machine and the 36 for that 4th position. But that should answer all your pit strategy questions there, as we would have to think the field will be heading down pit road here on this 5th caution of the night.
Let's take it back and kind of
see what happened here.
Oh no, don't tell me Mama win. As Thomas win in the 71 here in this Ratfink Racing League replay.
Oh.
No.
There it is.
It's going to be the 69 of Todd Perron off of 2. And you see right here, that's the 09.
Looks like Jonathan McIntosh. Yeah. Jonathan McIntosh just got into that back left corner of Todd and just got him turned around.
And you see right there, Todd's trying everything he can to keep that truck alive. Oh, man, just saying hi to the folks in the infield, I suppose. Boy, I would love to be camping out in those spots right there. What a shot. Can't get any closer to the action than you can right there.
After that caution, how about we take it to a... No, you're not wrong at all. Let's take it to a quick commercial break really quick.
Let's do it.
I will be back. My wife is losing her mind. That's why I've been super quiet.
Nope, 10-4. I figured as much. No, I got you, man. 10-4. I'll be right back as well.
Also, is there a delay on my end?
What's that? Hello? I'm not done. We're on our break. I didn't know you were sweeping already. No. Oh, you didn't even see me. Alright. Hello? Chickadee check, check, check.
You there? What?
Yep. We've had a caution flag already.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Lucas Oil Raceway. My name is William Tiller, joined up here in the booth by Jacob Williams. And as we were on break there, the caution flag flew once again, as it looked like we had a truck in the wall there down the backstretch, as a little bit of a Iracing issue there was hitting the drivers there on the racetrack. As we check it out here, Yeah, things got a little crazy on the racetrack, if you will, there, Jacob. As it looks like we had some trucks involved in there.
Oh,
Big, yeah.
okay. That's weird. Never seen that happen before.
A little bit of...
Especially with Zachary Wynn.
Yeah, Zachary Wynn, Victor Etheridge was involved in this one. We have some other names for you there. Brody Disher involved. Nate Lesko is going to have some damage. We saw what happened to him, though. It looks like some of these top guys, Jonathan McIntosh, we talked about him. As this race is really starting to settle in now, Jacob. As we've hit the 50 lap mark here. Jordan Trask, our new race leader. Looks like we are all reset as far as pit stops go as well. Justin Clapper, Justin Carey up there, Cody Deek, Thomas Wynn, John Crosby, Dakota Reeder, Tom Ringer. We also have Tony Burleson and Tyler Watts is our top 10 on the racetrack here. But Jordan Trask, 2 wins on the season here, will get us rocking and rolling off of 4 as that 79 comes thundering down the front stretch. Here we go, racing once again from Lucas Oil.
Jordan's going to shut the door on Justin at that point. We'll see if Justin Carey can make a pass on the inside of Justin Clapper.
Yeah, Justin Clapper with a lot of speed here tonight so far, currently in that second spot, right behind Jordan Trask and that 79 machine. Cody Deek right there as well in that 13. As these trucks are going to come thundering. Oh, we have a truck in the wall. That's the 71 is Thomas Wynn. He holds it together, though. John Crosby right there. Cody Deek will assume that second spot over the 63. And these trucks are just going to be thundering around the racetrack, and we'll let them do their thing as we're under. Oh, no! As we have trucks side by side here.
I know these guys got fresh tires, but man, they are one to send it. Burleson on the inside, Tyler Waltz on the outside.
What a hornet's nest. Oh, my goodness. What a hornet's nest that is, Jacob. Oh, my goodness. All it takes is one truck to get loose, and it could read disaster if one of your favorite drivers, if you're watching along with us. Oh, as we see a driver loose there off of 4. Oh, my goodness. What a battle this is right here. That's a 97, Tony Burleson. Thomas Wynn, you see him also in that shot. Justin Carey in that 33. Tom Ringer, 68. A lot of battles here off of 4. See who's going to keep it together. Oh my goodness, they're just racing so tight here. 61 laps in. Whoa, no!
Keith Vaughn barely made it out of that one. Justin Carey and Tom Ringer and Tyler Waltz kind of all involved in that at that point. And massive checkup.
Wow, massive, massive checkup. As this race is just starting to settle in. A new race leader, though. Cody Deek is going to assume that race leader position now.
Thomas Wynn and Dakota Reeder going at it as Tony Burleson slowly but surely catching up to him right behind him. Oh, that's not Dakota Reeder. My apologies. That is Justin Clapper at that point.
As we're watching this action play out, starting to settle in just a little bit. Cautions haven't been too crazy here tonight, Jacob. As John Crosby's really trying to assume that second spot. He takes it away from Jordan Trask. What a drive out of that 73 to work his way all the way back up to that second position. Justin Clapper, though, we saw some speed out of him, starting to lose it just a little bit now as he's down to the 8th spot. But I got to say, what a run out of the 23 machine. Justin Vaughn, Keith Vaughn, excuse me, he's up 15 spots. This is a drop of the green flag, looking good in that Coors Light machine.
Yeah, no, it's pretty impressive to see John start all the way from the back, in the very last spot, and now he's up in second at this point. we'll see if he can battle Cody Deek for that first place spot.
As we're off the corner now, John Crosby's trying to gain some speed. Check out those lap times. He's actually running faster than our race leader, Cody Deek, in that 13. Last time I ran a 22.5. Our race leader ran a 22.6. So a lot of speed. But there goes Dakota Reader to the inside. He's also fast there in the 85 machine. He dives to the inside of 3 and 4. As Cody Deek leading the way in that 13. Watching some moves here inside of the top 10. Justin carrying that 33. This is a hornet's nest behind these guys as the 85 has to pull right back in behind the 73 machine of John Crosby. Dakota Reader wasting no time trying to put some moves on the 73. Oh, as a 73 definitely feeling the pressure there. Jacob almost got inside that topside wall.
Yeah, no, we'll see if he can kind of keep it away from that wall, because that's what happened last time. He kind of got into it and pushing it a little bit too hard and got loose coming out of 2.
As we watch this battle for that second spot, the race seems to be chilling just a little bit here. As we'll check in with the rest of the field, there's Tyler Watts in that 54, Ryan Philbrick in the 06, as mentioned. Losing a bit of speed here. Brody Disher in that 36 as well. These guys are really caught behind the 8 ball here. Really hornet's nest of drivers. Jonathan McIntosh back there as well. Todd Pront in that 69. Victor Etheridge. These are all trucks that have a bit of damage on them, so maybe not handling the best. As Ryan Philbrick in the 06 will go door to door with Tyler Watts in that 54. This is a battle to stay inside the top 10. We'll check these guys out, guys that have been inside the garage.
Yeah, we'll take a look. I know it says Jessica Bowman, but it's really Andy Bowman at that point. I think he was the one that has the most damage at this point. And then Nate Lesko, that little quick little stop and go that we thought he was going to be out of the race, but it looks like again he's in that 19th spot, slowly but surely working his way back up. Victor Etheridge just 3 seconds of damage. Jonathan McIntosh roughly 2, and then it doesn't look like Brody was in the pits for very long at that point.
Ooh, what a drive at a Tom Ringer right on the back bumper of Thomas Wynn there. Didn't mean to jump in there, Jacob, but you talk about getting those wrenches and duct tape hammers out. We might need some more of it before this race is finished. These guys are really trying to race it out, and we talked about, those guys that were involved in those early cautions, even though they may have had a little bit of damage. Nate Lesko, one of those names as well. You don't see his name creeping up the grid just yet here. But other guys, you talk about Brody Disher starting to work his way back up. Justin Carey, Justin Clapper, some of these guys have ran into some early issues. Now really starting to brush it off and get back up the grid. But right now there is a lock jam just inside of the top 5 here. As you see, these guys really lock jam for position. We see a truck out of line there just outside of these guys. That's just outside of Brody Disher. And these guys are 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Yeah, what's interesting is, Ryan Philbrick and Cody Disher are both teammates. And at this point, it looks like Brody's kind of driving it hard into the corners and fighting Ryan for position. So, see right there. So it's, what do you ask yourself? Are you a team player, or are you going to, is every man for himself at this point?
Well, I think I can answer that. It seems like it's every man for himself. You don't want to get stuck in this drive right here, as they'll go door to door. In the entrance of 3 and 4, that's Tyler Watts. In the 54, the 06 at Ryan Philbrick. Brody Disher will watch from afar just behind these guys. Thomas Ringer right in front of him. Thomas Wynn there. These are guys just inside of the top 10. As again, they'll go door to door. Brody Disher and Tyler Watts. Down the backstretch here, 76 laps in so far, a Tuesday night. Trucks here in the Ratfink Racing League. Our race leader, Cody Deek, has the fastest lap of the race so far in that 13 machine, and I gotta say he's putting up one of the best performances of the season so far out of the 13. Just mainly quiet throughout, 7 weeks in, not a lot of performances to look back on. Probably one of those guys that have had those heartbreak runs, similar to the 20 machine of Nate Lesko. But boy, if he can keep it together here tonight, running some pretty good lap times, 22.9 last time by, he may have a shot at getting to victory lane there in the 13.
No, like you had said earlier, he's been one of the guys that kind of somehow gets caught up in the mix of all the, I'm gonna call it, trouble at that point. And it's kind of good to see Cody leading towards the front. It's pretty impressive. Roughly it's about a second lead, but we'll see where Dakota ends up pulling out of his hat because he's slowly but surely closing that gap. Roughly 6/10 of a second, kind of closing in on Cody at that point.
Surely is. As you see the 85 come into the shot right there, John Crosby, Jordan Tross, Tony Burleson, Thomas Wynn, Keith Vaughn, Ryan Philbrick, Tom Ringer, Tyler Wallace are top 10 on the racetrack right now. And after that, there is a bit of a drop-off as it goes Justin Carey down there in that 12th spot. Justin Clapper, 13th. Nate Lesko, 14th. Mark Holloway, our top 15 on the racetrack. And we take a look at that battle right there. That's Victor Etheridge in that 6. And, man, of all the runs he's had throughout the season here tonight, just an uphill battle for that 6 machine. He's back there with Anthony Harden, who usually has great runs. And, we talked about short track racing as a little bit of a different monster to tame, if you will, Jacob. A little bit more intricacies with the gas pedal, and then really trying to check up, kind of elbow for position. And really, if you don't start, I would say in the top 10, top 7, it's really one of these races where you're just kind of hanging on and hoping for a top 15 finish.
Yeah, no, with especially how big this field is, it's really, it's more of a strategy game.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I said, it's all about throttle control. How do you get out of, how do you get out of the corner without, essentially burning your tires up and, losing momentum.
Absolutely. And I think for some of these guys back here with the likes of Jonathan McIntosh, Anthony Harden, Victor Etheridge, Ryan Sousa, Todd Perrant, this could be just one of these races where you get what you can out of it, and then you go to next week. They're in pretty good spots in the point standings. You get a good points night out of the race. You look at Justin Clapper, who showed early speed, now really stuck in this hornet's nest as well. Nate Lesko back there. Brody Disher, he's trying to keep the pace here with the rest of the field, but he finds himself almost a second off of the 10th spot of Tyler Waltz. So as we are under our longest green flag run of the race, we are starting to see some separation between the guys. But as Pac-Man ate up those little dots on that video game board, the lead has been eaten up from Dakota Reeder in the 85. He is knocking on the door of Cody Deek.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, Cody slowly but surely started falling back a little bit. Now it's within about a 2/10 of a second. Dakota's closed that gap, roughly from a second. So we'll see if he gets that inside line. I'd say give him 2 more laps, and he's going to end up passing Cody on that inside line.
Now, my question to you here, Jacob, as it's the 13 and the 85, we're going to go at it for the lead here. Do you try to just work together? Do you try to tandem here, lap 87 of 150? Because if you do pull off in your open, clean air by yourself, it really kind of puts you in a disadvantage. You have nobody to work with here. You have no air to work with unless you work with some of these lap trucks that we're coming up on here in just a moment. What do you think is the best move here for the 85?
Oh, man, I'd say just we're, lap 88 of 150, so we're a little over halfway. I think, I say try and play the teammate strategy. I know they're not teammates, but try and, hopefully try and help one another instead of trying to battle it out because, again, you're getting into lap traffic, and if you're by yourself, you're going to be kind of hanging out left high and dry.
That's Sean Dion in that 3 coming up here. I believe that's also Brett Thompson. And then 45, big move out of the 13. As he'll go to door with the 3. The 85 is going to be stuck behind the 3. Watch how clean that. Ooh, what a move out of the 13. Showed a little fast and furious moves there on the sticks.
Oh, that Cody got a break on that. Sean, kind of not purposefully held up, Dakota. But, unfortunately, Dakota got held up by Sean. And, now it's back to 0.5 of a second. That gap has been created now.
But boy, that took some confidence to pull off. The 13 basically shot the gap, left the 3 on the top side of the racetrack. The 85 tried to follow, couldn't because there was a truck on the low side of the racetrack. So essentially used a lap truck, as you said, unintentionally as a pick. but that only lasted for a second as the 85 is now back on the back bumper of that 13 machine off of the corner. We're going to jump back inside of the top 10 as we have a battle. Right now, that's the 06 Ryan Philbrick to the inside of the 97 machine of Tony Burleson. This is for a top 5 position on the racetrack. Ryan Philbrick can keep that top 5 streak alive as he will take over the top 5 spot into 1 and 2. Has his sight set on the 79 of Jordan Tross, currently in that 4th spot. Check out the lap times out of the 06, 23-1 last time by, but the caution flag will wave for the 7th time here at Lucas Oil, and it brings an end to the longest green flag run of the race.
We'll take it back, showing Chad it's gone off track. See, ooh, Justin Clapper and Chad Thompson at this point.
We'll see what happens here. In the 70, I do like the all-green paint scheme. Can't forget about St. Patrick's Day right around the corner as we cross that start-finish line here. And we'll see what happens if the 63 hasn't come into the shot just yet. Here he comes with all that speed.
Ooh. Oh, he just barrels into the back end of Chad Thompson at that point. No, all gas, no brakes.
Yeah, that looks to be... I don't think the 63 may have committed to a line just yet. It looks as though he was waiting for the... Maybe he thought the 70 was going to be on the inside, and he just committed to the top side of the racetrack. Maybe, yeah.
He probably thought Chad was going to go low a little bit, but unfortunately Chad stayed high and just barreled into the back end of him, unfortunately.
This could be one of those where they look at the replay afterwards together and realize they both may have messed up and been equally as responsible in this one, as it looked as though the 70 was going to the low side of the racetrack and the 63 was trying to maybe jump that a little bit and was going for a pass, and the 70 never moved from his line, and that's what kind of happens there. 7 cautions here tonight, and only a few, though, Jacob, surprisingly have involved multiple trucks. We've only had a few involve some trucks, but those trucks have done a good job of coming back here in this race. These guys have really got the duct tape and hammers out and got back into the swing of things.
Yeah, no, we've only, there were the first 3, where there were self spins, and then we had some small contact here and there. I mean, that last one was pretty big, but I think with the way that the night has gone, besides that weird glitch with iRacing that we were having, I would say at this point, Chad and Justin can probably get those repairs made pretty quickly and get back on track.
Absolutely. We're here on a Tuesday night. Ratfink Racing League live from Lucas Oil Raceway Park here just outside of the shadow of the big speedway, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I am William Tiller. I'm joined up here by Jacob Williams, man, working 2 jobs, getting you all the sights and sounds and co-commentating up here in the booth with me. And been a great race so far. Some of the favorites out of this race, or just not in a position you would think they're in. Right now, the race is being led by Dakota Reeder, Cody Deek up there as well. John Crosby, last week's winner, trying to go back-to-back. Jordan Tross has already done that. Ryan Philbrick has done that as well. Tony Burleson, Tom Ringer, Brody Disher will take us to the top of the green flag once again as the 85 goes roaring into 1. John Crosby will follow on the inside of the racetrack. There goes Cody Deek in the 13 to the top side. We're very, very fast off of 2. Will we keep it clean? We will, as we're into 3 and 4, as the 13 of Cody Deek's going to try to go high, and he will be locked there on the top side of the racetrack. 73 is loose. 73 is loose off of 4, saves it. The 20 checks up. Nate Lesko. He's nose first in the inside of the wall. No caution flag yet as the race keeps thundering on down the backstretch. Action continues here as the 73 of John Crosby, who will lose speed. He'll go door-to-door now with the 06 of Ryan Philbrick, who somehow, some way finds himself inside the top 5. Jacob, what's going on with these guys? They disappear, then abracadabra, they're back inside the top 5. Whoa!
Brody Disher at that point moving up, unfortunately, towards that outside wall.
Wow.
See what happens here.
big runs out of these guys. Brody Disher, he's back. Ryan Philbrick, he's back. John Crosby, he's back. For the moment, though, we almost saw him get loose again. These guys are back in the mix all of a sudden. As the 23 machine, he's up there as well. He's a newcomer in this. This is Keith Vaughn. He's up to 9th. He's our biggest mover of the race, up 13 spots. He is trying to move Tom Ringer out of his way.
Yeah, but go ahead.
No, I was going to say, there's Tyler Watts to the inside in the 54. Oh, my goodness gracious. They are shoving each other around the racetrack here at Lucas Oil. It's getting crazy.
Yeah, I can't tell if we got tire wear or if we got fresh tires, because it seems like a mixture of both. Let's see on that last pit stop or that last caution, see who kind of took tires and who didn't at that point.
Oof.
Yeah, no, it looks like, everyone's still 8 laps since they last pit. Looks like just kind of fresh tires still.
Oh, man, I know we got some sweaty palms on the steering wheel, though, that's for sure. With all these guys with full resets on these trucks, everybody's essentially at an even playing field. We're not fanned out. This hasn't been a long run. We see what happens on those long runs, though. We get incredibly fanned out. These guys are really trying to make sure that doesn't happen again. They're really on the inside of each other, trying to push each other out of the way, but in a good way, as Cody Deek has lost that lead to Dakota Reeder in the 85, leading the way. He took the lead on that restart. Brody Disher up there as well. John Crosby, last week's winner, he is really fighting that truck here tonight, but fighting it in a good way as he has that thing back inside the top 5, or just outside.
Let's see if John can work his way back up towards the front. Just every time we kind of pan towards him, it looks like you had said, he's just always fighting right there. He's always fighting and just like coming out of the corners. He's just getting loose on that back end. See if it happens again.
There goes the 97 to the inside as the 73 is trying to hold that position, as you mentioned, Jacob. And oh my goodness gracious.
He is, I'm going to call that a bunking Bronco. He is fighting it.
He's trying everything he can to keep that thing on the top side of the racetrack, because if he goes low, we've sort of seen what happens with the 73. If he puts that truck on the low side of the racetrack, there's nowhere for him to get back on the gas quick enough, and that causes him to spin. It's happened to him a few times here tonight. Off of 2, taps that top side wall, just keeps it moving and grooving down the racetrack. But really what that's going to cause, though, Jacob, and you're seeing it happen here, is the 68, the 97, they're going to get lockjam behind the 73 here. As the 73 is not going to run the same pace as a Brody Disher in that 36. You're going to watch those lap times here, 22.5, 22.5 right now. Next time by, though, but the more the 73 tops that topside wall, has handling issues, the more speed he's going to lose, and that's really going to cause the rest of this field to lockjam behind that 73 machine.
Mm-hmm. We got single file right now. Let's take a look at Victor Etheridge and kind of see how that line is shaping up. We got Victor, Anthony, Jonathan McIntosh, Thomas Wynn, and Zachary Wynn, both of the brothers. Let's see if they're kind of fighting side by side, or if they're going to play the team role and help each other out and make their way back towards the front.
Yeah, what a great job from the 72 machine to Zachary Wynn to bounce back. We talk about these comebacks here in this race. 72 machine now working his way back up the grid. A top 5 could be or top 15 could be a great finish. Top 10 would be even better, but the caution flag is out once again. 8th caution of the night. As we were checking in with some of these guys just outside of the top 15, we have another caution flag here tonight. It's going to be a solo caution here, looks like, with a 19 machine.
Ooh.
Whoa. Hard impact there.
Just got loose off that exit of 4 and just couldn't control it at that point, unfortunately.
That's Bowman in that 19. You see him. I mean, that's just the same thing we've seen all night here. Off that corner. And you have to time that just perfect, getting on that gas pedal. And if you have any kind of tire wear, you're basically ice skating there. Shout out to the Winter Olympics that just ended. You're basically figure skating on the ice.
Yes, sir. And then with that, let's go to another commercial break.
Let's do it.
Okay, I'll be back. The baby is wilding out again.
Oh, no.
I'll be back.
I got you.
Oh, my apologies.
No, you're good.
It's not good. So I might have to jet.
Oh, no, okay.
We are back.
All right, we're back here live from the Lucas Oil Raceway Park, and we are thundering under green here as Dakota Reeder in the 85 leading the way. Jordan Trosser in that second spot. Cody Deek and Brody Disher will go side to side for that spot. This is a big battle inside of the top 5.
We just had an off track. Justin Carey hit that. Let's see if we hit that inside wall.
As Justin Carey, as you mentioned there, it's going to be coming off of that same Calamity corner there off of 2. Oof. Hard impact for the 33.
So, I was going to say a little bump. That's a big bump.
Yeah. Going to be some heavy damage there for the 33 of Justin Carey as we're back live here on the racetrack. Cody Deek holding down that 3rd spot. Jordan Tross currently in that 2nd spot. Brody Disher 4th. Ryan Philbrick 5th. 31 laps to go here tonight. Brody Disher thought about a move to the outside of the 13. Not much there. Has to fall right back behind the 13 machine. John Crosby, Ryan Philbrick. Let's talk about this lead pack right here. Dakota Reeder has a win. Jordan Tross has 2 wins. Cody Deek 0 wins. Brody Disher has a win. Ryan Philbrick has 2 wins. John Crosby has a win as well. So 5 out of our top 6 all have wins on the season. The only man inside of that pack that doesn't, Cody Deek in that 13. But he is definitely under fire right now as we're into 1 and 2. Brody Disher let him know. Oh, no! Big bumps there from both of them.
Yeah, big checkup right there. Looks like Cody, not Cody, but Brody ended up getting into Cody on the inside line, and just unfortunately Cody had to check up, and Ryan was in the back end of him right now, like how he is.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Is it 13? Oh, they're door to door. They're door to door. The 06 and the 13 door to door. They're off of 2. Now down the backstretch, they'll drag race here at Lucas Oil. John Crosby trying to look for an opportunity as well. Boy, he's right on that back bumper. Hey, that's short track racing though. There as we're off of 4. You gotta find your opportunities. You gotta find them, Jacob. You gotta find them.
Stay on board with these guys.
Doing a little body shot here and there. There we go. Got to chop down the tree, if you will. There goes the 06. Oh, man. Puts that. No. Oh, they crash. Big pile up here into the entry of the corner. The 13 and the 06 collect each other. Looks as though they're going to collect a few other trucks here in the process. Boy, what a battle that was, though, Jacob. That was good until it wasn't, unfortunately.
They were both fighting for that position. One should have just probably backed out just a little bit.
This is the slightest oversteer. I'd have to say just the slightest oversteer from the 13 off of 4. And that just cascaded. That's going to be the perfect shot here. We'll see. He feels the bump from the 06 off of the corner and just a little bit right there.
Yeah.
That does it.
Yeah. Looks like right here. Looks like he got a little, maybe just like I see he's got a wheel turn to the right.
Going the wrong way.
Yeah, John Crosby on the outside of him.
Gotta say, if you find yourself turning right on a short track, you're not going the right direction.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. It showed that Victor Etheridge ended up collecting some damage on this. Ooh, teammates colliding to one another.
Boy.
Looks like they were checking up for it and just.
And I have to think for the 6 machine of Victor Etheridge here, that's probably going to be the night for the 6. A rough night for Victor. We appreciate him for trying to give it a go a couple times after being involved in a few cautions here tonight. But I have to think he's down in the garage area right now and probably contemplating getting out of that truck, if I would have to think there, Jacob, just with a few laps to go here tonight.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we got Chad Thompson, Tom Ringer coming back off the pit lane, and it looks like the night is done for Sir Victor Etheridge.
He has left the chat and left the truck as Victor Etheridge. Chad Thompson looks like he'll take the track here in just a minute. Nate Lesko is out of this race. Jessica Bowman in that 19. Brendan Hitton in that 5 also out of this race so far. That leaves the last truck on the lead lap here before this restart will be Tom Ringer in that 68 machine down there in that 20th position. As we're going to have quite the battle to end off the race here live on YouTube. This is the Ratfink Racing League Tuesday Night Truck Series. If you haven't already, go ahead, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for everything Ratfink Racing League coming your way. We're going to be live once again on Thursday night. But what a close we'll have here to the Tuesday Night League as Jordan Tross, a back-to-back winner here this season. John Crosby trying to go back-to-back. Tyler Waltz has no wins. Mark Holloway, no wins. Thomas Wynn, no wins. Zachary Wynn, no wins. Cody Deek, no wins. So all these guys trying to break through, and we have the wins working together. Let's see if they can get a win for the wins as Jordan Tross, John Crosby, Tyler Waltz, Mark Holloway, Thomas Wynn, Zachary Wynn, Cody Deek, Dakota Reeder, Brody Disher, Ryan Philbrick, our top 10 here on this restart as we have less than 25 laps to go. Jordan Tross will take us to the drop of the green flag into 1.
Yeah, we'll see how Tyler Waltz does this. Dakota Reeder on the outside.
Whoa.
That's a big cluster right there.
Whoa, 3 wide as the 13 is finding himself in the middle of that 3 wide. He survives, though. That's for a top 10 spot. Again, they're 3 wide. Justin Clapper is going to push the 13 up the racetrack. 63, the 85. Oh, big pile up. Keeping it clean. No, as a 13 gets taken out. 13 gets taken out on the inside of the racetrack. We'll have to jump back to see who may also be involved in that, but Cody Deek is definitely going to get the worst of it here as we check out this instant replay.
Ooh, Ryan Philbrick again on that. Him and Ryan going at it. It looks like Ryan kind of hit the wall and then bounced off, and then Cody came down and clipped Anthony Harden.
And we'll watch here. That's the 77, as you mentioned. See who.
Also,
Oh no,
yeah.
not Vaughn. Oh man.
And then you got Cody getting Justin Carey at that point, and Todd Perrant getting into Brandon Yates.
Here comes Tom Ringer in the 68.
Yeah.
Boy.
And
Brian Sousa ended up getting collected by someone as well.
Boy. And I think the guy who's, heart breaks with the 13 machine of Cody Deek had a heck of a run going.
Ah, that's unfortunate. That's a big crack.
And then also for Vaughn in that 23 machine, man, one of our biggest mover of the races so far, and just finds himself unfortunately taken out with less than 18 laps to go here. We'll watch this once again. Oh man, he made yeah.
Go ahead. I was going to say what's unfortunate is Todd Perrant trying to miss that at that point, and unfortunately he collects. Brandon Yates trying to come down to miss that carnage up there on top, clips him and gets him turned around, and then unfortunate.
See there once again as we have now broken into double-digit cautions here tonight. 10 cautions on the night. As Jordan Tross leading the way, John Crosby right there, Tyler Waltz there in that 54 machine. What a finish we have in store for us here tonight, Jacob. And as we look at the top side of that grid, we have Crosby trying to go back-to-back. Jordan Tross has already gone back-to-back. Tyler Waltz trying to break through. Holloway's trying to break through as well. Who would you say is the dark horse of the top 10 here as we get ready for this restart?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how Tyler Waltz plays out this restart. Again, roughly, I think we're coming up on lap 135. So we roughly have about 15 laps left. So maybe see how. When was the last time he took tires?
been a while. So we'll see how long they can last on those.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye on the 36, Brody Disher and Justin Clapper here on this last run, depending on how long we stay green. But it will be, in the meantime, Jordan Tross, John Crosby, Tyler Waltz, Mark Holloway, Thomas Wynn, Brody Disher, Justin Clapper, Zachary Wynn, Dakota Reeder, Ryan Philbrick, our top 10 on this restart as Jordan Tross takes us thundering across the start-finish line into one. Big move to the top side to block the 73 as he'll lead the way off of 2.
Yeah, Brody riding that lower line. Ooh, Justin Clapper and Mark.
Oh, truck in the wall! Truck in the wall!
To the wall at that point.
Mark Hallman in the wall there. No caution out so far. We are still under green. That was Mark Holloway. If you're a fan of that machine, he did go into the wall. No caution here on the racetrack as we have a battle for third. Brody Disher throws that back in right in front of Dakota Reeder in the 85. He'll now go to the inside of the 36. Tyler Waltz, don't look in your rear view. Please don't do it. As they were trying to split the 54 off of 4 as Brody Disher ran out of space on the top side of the racetrack. Now here comes Justin Clapper in the 63. He'll try his hand at the top 5 position. As he'll try to go to the inside of the 36 and the 54 here as we're counting down the laps. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, going to go side by side coming out of 4 at this point. See, oh god dang. That's kind of close. That was almost a Kyle Larson move.
Whoa.
From the top lane to the bottom.
This is definitely short track, elbows out. Rubbin is racing here tonight on a Tuesday night. Justin Clapper, Brody Disher in the 36 and the 63, essentially just moved the 54 out of the way and said, here, it's our turn now. And just moved Tyler Waltz down 2 positions, down to 6th as he was in 4th. Mid-pack and Bad Company seem to be working together as they're trying to move their way up to the top side of the grid, who right now is accompanied by Jordan Tross in that 79 machine as he touches that top side wall, but he's leading the way into 1 and 2.
Yeah, and John Crosby feeling the heat from Brody Disher at this point. Again, getting that top wall and just getting loose and losing time at that point.
Yeah, and it looks like he'll lose a spot there to the 36. Justin Clapper will try. He'll try to the inside. Big move out of the 63 as he'll go door to door with the 73. John Crosby. This is for the 3rd position on the racetrack. And that's a good clear. That's a good clear out of the 63. Justin Clapper, he'll take over the 3rd spot from the 73 down the backstretch.
I go towards the middle of the field and see if we still have a cluster going on. Looks like everyone's kind of single file line at this point.
Yeah, checking in with some guys here, as you mentioned. Zachary Wynn, just outside of that top 10, up 17 spots, our biggest mover of the race so far, that 72 machine. Cody Deek could still get a top 10 out of tonight's proceedings. It's a 69, a Todd Perrance right there as well. These guys still have great finishes. If they can just hold on here, Sean Dion can get a top 15 as well. Jonathan McIntosh in the 09, and after everything that some of these guys have gone through here tonight, that would be a win for these guys. Just keeping it moving and grooving with a top 15 finish. As Cody Deeks just trying to hold on. He has a lot of damage on that truck. You can actually see it here. If you're watching along with us here on YouTube, you can see all that damage on the back side of that thing. As the 13's trying to hold on, but it looks like we have a battle for the lead about to ensue as Dakota Reeder and the 85 and the 79 are going to go at it. As the 85 looks to the inside, has to peel back in behind the back bumper. He'll try again into 3 and 4. Looks as though he'll have the momentum. They'll touch just briefly, though, as the 85 will keep clean on the inside. The 79 will clear on the top. Here comes the 36 of Brody Disher. As the 85 once again.
Dakota got a little loose coming into 1.
Whoa.
Picked up some time at that point.
As again, he gets loose there off of 2 as well. Ooh, as the 36 gets loose, but he uses it to his advantage to dive to the inside. Oh my goodness gracious! As the 36 trying to everything he can. They go 3 wide. Oh no! No! As the 36 goes below the yellow line. Oh man! Tries to go 3 wide, goes below the yellow line, comes back up the racetrack. Wow.
Mm.
We're definitely gonna have to check out their replay, as that's gonna be a big shakeup here. As you see here, coming down the front stretch, 36 is way on the inside lane. And you see here, he is loose. He is losing that truck on the entrance, and he goes way below the yellow line. Tries to come back up the racetrack, but you can't. You can't at that point. You can't get that thing turned low enough.
Trying to send it too hard into turn one, and unfortunately ruined two guys' race. That's man, that's unfortunate.
And the 85 Dakota Reader.
Take it back. I mean, you can see
right here.
Yeah.
You're gonna see the.
You can see Jordan, and you can see Dakota and Jordan holding their line at this point. And then unfortunately Brody just sends it just a little too hard into one, trying to gain a position, and unfortunately hurt his race and two others.
And even if you kind of rewind it just a little bit there, one thing I wanted to point out here on this replay, you're going to see the 36 right here on the entrance of the corner, just as you were showing it there. And if we freeze frame right there, just a little bit further back, right on the entrance, you'll see the 36 right there. His whole truck is below that yellow line there on the entry of the corner. And I'd have to assume here, he's trying to get the entry of the corner riding that yellow line of the entry, and he's just going to run out of racetrack. There's no way he could get that truck low enough entering that low on the racetrack. I mean, it's just, that's one of those things where you're just going to have to lose the position, if you will, and just try to follow those guys on the backstretch. But as you said, unfortunately, it's going to end in two guys' nights being over.
Well, we say that.
Oh.
I thought it would have ended. See, Jordan's in that second spot, so we'll see in the restart if Jordan's going to battle it out or be able to have the momentum to retain that first spot.
That's going to be a mucho caliente restart, I can tell you that. Very spicy between the 79 and the 36, I imagine, here on the drop of the green flag. Because I'm sure that word came across the radio that what may have happened there on that. And for the 79 to not avoid his night being ended, I'm sure he's going to be a little fiery on the cockpit. But let's get...
Yeah, we'll see. And we'll see what happens.
As it looks like, though, we'll have a green-white checkered here to end the thing, end the race here tonight, Jacob.
Yeah, no, what would be your strategy if you're Tony Burleson and Justin Clapper? Do you let Brody and Jordan kind of battle it out, or do you push hard? Oh, here goes the green flag.
You gotta go for it. As Brody Disher goes for it right now, as he dives us into 1 and 2. We're green-white checkered. As long as we get that white flag, it will be official. As we're off of 2, as we will not collect the white flag, as the yellow flag will wave for the 12th time here tonight.
Out of all those seasons we've had, and out of all the races, this is probably the most cautions we've had.
Hey, as we check out the Rathink Racing League instant replay, and you mentioned there, Jacob, that's the 33 of Justin Carey. And it looks like here it's just going to be on the entry of the corner. And that's just a fast and furious restart.
Keith Vaughn got into the back. Yeah, Keith Vaughn got into the back end of him, unfortunately. Sent him up the track. Let's see if it collects anyone. Mark Holloway looks like he might get collected at this point. He might miss it. Ooh. Oh, and he gets pinched up into that upper wall.
And these are guys that had solid nights going, involved in some cautions. Yeah, and these guys just wish their nights were going better. For Vaughn, for Ringer, they had some pretty good runs going, just involved in some cautions. And when your truck already has damage and you're at the tail end of a restart there, it's just tough. But what that means, though, is the folks at home gets a little bit more of a extra overtime racing here, as overtime number 1 has completed. This is realistically overtime number 2, Jacob. So some more free racing here in iRacing.
Yep. No. So if there's another caution that comes out, whoever's in that first, second, and third, that's who's going to be our podium finishers. We are on that
Oh.
second green white checkered attempt.
Oh. So, folks, you hear that at home once
Let's
the
take a
green
look
flag
real quick
waves.
of the. Yeah, we'll take a look at the in live camera feed, kind of how everyone's kind of doing the same thing at this point. Justin, John, and Cody, kind of all really trying to get their composure back, and I think my bet is, I think Justin's going to end up getting this one. We'll see what happens on this restart coming up.
Ooh, I like that pick, and I love this camera angle right here as well out of our producer Jacob Williams to give us the quad box here on an iRacing broadcast. What an awesome addition. Out of those guys right there, obviously Cody Deek is trying to just scrap off what could have been an awesome night. I like John Crosby keeping that truck together, going back to back here in that 73. We talked about how loose he's getting here on these corners, but if he can just keep that thing together, keep it straight, he could have a shot. And when you look at these top guys, Brody Disher has a win on the season. Justin Clapper, no wins yet. Jordan Tross has gone back to back. John Crosby has a win as well. But the 63 has definitely been one of the top trucks here tonight. He's had some problems, dropped down the grid, came back up, dropped down, came back up, but now he's at the top side with Brody Disher in that 36. Once this green flag waves, the race is official, and it will be Brody Disher taking the green flag with Justin Clapper Sr. in the 63. They'll go into one side by side. This is for the race. If the yellow flag waves, it is over as the 63 and the 36 will go side to side off of 2. Or they go down the backstretch, 36 will clear. He'll keep that clear spot into 3 and 4. There goes the 63 on the top side. Brody Disher will keep that line off of 4. Let's see if he can keep it together. He will, as 1 lap to go here. White flag waves as he's still the race leader off of 2. Justin Clapper in the 63 right there as well. Jordan Tross trying to knock on that door, but it will not be enough as Brody Disher takes us off of 4, and he will notch a second win in that win column and take home the checkered flag here at Lucas Oil.
Ooh, Jordan was slowly but surely catching up to Justin. What a race.
Brody Disher now 2 wins on the season. Holds off the likes of Justin Clapper and Jordan Tross. And what a race victory at that 36 machine. And I got to say, that truck was not clean before the end of the race, and it's not going to be any cleaner now.
Yeah, well, as he's burning out, he's also taking the house. Well, Will, give me a little bit. I'll start getting everyone into the interview booth, and we'll start getting our interviews underway.
Absolutely. As Brody Disher there was a newcomer here in the league just a few weeks ago. Gets that first victory on the season. Of course, that back-to-back streak got ended last week from the 73 machine of John Crosby, but the 36 bounces back here tonight. Faced some adversity, though. There were some moments in this race where he dropped back. He was outside of the top 15, worked his way back up there, and battled through 2 overtimes as well. And actually, on that last lap of the race, ran his fastest lap of the race and the best lap of the race, a 22-1. 22-1, the fastest lap of the race, belongs to Brody Disher, and it comes on the last lap of the race. What a way to end things there. The only fastest lap will belong to the 85 of Dakota Reeder with a 21.9. But what a way for the 36 to close out the race by running his fastest lap of the race there. As you mentioned, Jordan Tross was just on the tail end. Justin Clapper there as well. Tony Burleson, Dakota Reeder, John Crosby will get a top 10. That a way to keep those points alive. Tyler Waltz, Anthony Harton, the 77. Cody Deek will finish with a top 10. Good for Cody in that 13. One of the best trucks in the race, without a doubt, just with some bad luck there at the end. And Jonathan McIntosh in the 09 will come home in the top 10. But folks, if you're watching along with us here on YouTube, the Ratfink Racing League, go ahead, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. But without further ado, I believe it is time, Jacob, to catch up with our third place finisher, Jordan Tross.
Yep, we have him here right now. Jordan, you got a copy?
I got a copy.
It is Will and Jacob in the booth with you. Take us through that last lap and kind of that last caution that you and Dakota were kind of going side by side, and just kind of your thought process and kind of how that all unfolded.
Yeah, Dakota and Ryan and I, we had a great race, and Cody, when he was up there too, we were having a lot of fun and a lot of clean racing. And I had managed to make it about 140 laps without touching a single truck the entire night. And to be honest, I didn't really know what happened until I just went back and watched the replay. All of a sudden, I was just shoved into the wall and had right front damage. Looking back at it, it's pretty frustrating to see the 36 just wipe out the leaders. But I don't know. He said he's sorry, and I guess that fixes all, maybe? I don't know.
Understandable. I understand
it's pretty
the frustration,
disrespectful to see, but I'm just trying to get to the finish. I'm glad I could manage to hold it out for the top three, but I hope we can clean it up in the future.
Yeah, Jordan, great run out of that 79, and as Jacob was just about to allude to, you kind of keep this hot streak alive. You've been one of the top trucks so far this season. Another top three, podium finish. What do you think's led to success for you so far this season in the 79?
Well, a lot of these races, they're pretty long. Most of them, we've had some green flag stops or just some longer runs, and being patient goes a long way. And especially on the long runs, I've managed to have a lot of success. Overall, I'm just trying to keep the nose clean. I've done a pretty good job overall. There's a few situations where I haven't had much say in the matter, but my goal is just to get to the end of each race and trying to aim for a top 5. And if I have the opportunity, I do what I can to get a better finish than just 5th or so.
So Jordan, and to wrap this up, what would be your final take on the race? And I know that you said, you hope for it to kind of clean up. Do you feel like this was just, we got out of the super speedway mentality and then we got into the, short track racing? Because, we had a 28, truck, 28, field size this evening. Do you think that could be a part of the problem, or do you think, just switching the mentality, going from super speedway, and the week before that we also had Daytona, and now it's short track. So do you think everyone's still kind of accustomed to that super speedway mentality?
No, I mean, overall the racing was pretty good up front tonight. It was really clean up front. I think there was only one wreck the entire night up in the top 5, and that was that late one there. Super speedways, I mean, it's its own separate thing. Overall, I mean, you're gonna have some cautions on short tracks. It's gonna happen, and I mean, we saw it early. There was quite a few chained in a row, but once we got that cleaned up, we had some good long runs, 40, 50 laps, and it was a lot of fun to keep racing. And I hope we can have some more long runs like that in the future. Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, those wrecks late, it's just people not knowing their limit and just overdriving past their capability. I mean, you got 2 cars above you, you got to leave space for 2 cars, and that's just not what happened. So really, it's just awareness and knowing what your truck's capable of, and hopefully we can leave that space there in the future.
Gotcha. Well, Will, do you have any other questions for Sir Jordan?
No, I just say can't wait to see what you have in store for us next week. I'm sure you'll put on another show in that 79 machine.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for the broadcast, and thanks to Ratfink for putting these races on. It's a lot of fun, and overall, I've had some great racing here this season, and look forward to it every week.
Perfect. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate you coming out.
That was the 79 machine of Jordan Tross coming home in that 3rd spot, but it is time to catch up with a guy who I'd have to say one of the fastest trucks of the race. He finishes 12 spots since the drop of the green flag to the good. The 63 machine, Justin Clapper. Justin, take us through probably what I'd have to say is your best finish of the season so far.
You got a copy? You got a copy, Justin?
I got you now, guys.
Hey, how's it going, Justin? No, just take
No,
us
you're fine.
take us through what led to you finishing in one of the best positions you have so far this season. Actually, up 12 spots since the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, up and down roller coaster night for sure. Ended up in a pretty good position, staying out and kind of playing the track position game, hoping for a caution. Of course, we get a green flag run. Drop like a rock with old tires. And I really want to apologize to 70. I'm not really sure what happened on that entry to one that caused that caution. Um, where I really thought my night was ruined. Ended up with the toe being knocked out, but some cautions came my way, and we were able to get damage fixed and work our way back through the field. I mean, once the damage was fixed, this thing was really a rocket up until it got to the front, and then just kind of what I burned up getting there, I just didn't have enough to get around the 36 there. I gave it everything I had, so but we're really happy with a second place finish tonight for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We saw the 36 be involved in a little bit of a controversy there with that caution that flew right at the end of the night. Did you have any take on that, or did your game plan just stay the same there on that last restart, which would have been the final restart of the night there with the second green-white checkered?
I think if I'm glad I stuck with my gut. I knew he was going to do that. I could feel the vibe picking up. He kept kind of looking to make it three wide, and I even kind of keyed up to my teammates of like I'm just going to kind of ride. I think the leaders are going to get into each other here, which they did. Um, it's just a shame that the guy that causes the wreck ends up winning the race, but sometimes that's how it is. You hear guys say it on Sundays that if you cause the wreck, you end up through the wreck. So seems to be the pattern for certain individuals. I mean, I'm guilty of making aggressive moves. You're going for a win, totally get it. Um, at least he was able to back it up. It does suck. I really hate it. The 79 was definitely the truck to beat all night tonight. I hate it for him, but yeah, I guess aggressive moves work because the 36 is in victory lane. So maybe we have to watch some film on that.
Hey, and aggressive moves work for you as well as you get one of the best finishes for yourself this season out of Mid-Pack Motorsports. Jacob, anything for our second place finisher, Justin Clapper?
No, Justin, are you? I know earlier yesterday, with the Daytona race. How are you looking forward to that charity event? Go ahead and give a shout out to that.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. We have a big Daytona 500 coming up with. We have a monthly program called Universal Motorsports Tour. I got the Discord posted in the RFRL Discord. You can check that out. Basically, we put on events once a month to raise money for charity. This month we're doing it through the Champions of Hope Foundation. It's a foundation that was formed from wrestling fans, and now we got some race fans that are involved as well. They raise money for pediatric cancer through the V Foundation. So we take a portion of every donation, and it goes to that, as well as stage sponsors and whatever donations we get throughout the event, et cetera, et cetera. But it's a full-length Daytona 500 Next Gens, March 15th, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, grid time. We are still accepting entries, still accepting donations. So the more the merrier. We're getting closer to cracking that 30 driver mark right now. So the entries are filling up quick. So shoot me a DM in a Discord or go to the RFRL Discord and you'll see all the information.
Perfect. Thank you, Justin. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Good night.
That was Justin Clapper, Sr., the 63 machine, with a great run and even a better cause coming up right around the corner here. Just about 2 weeks from now, I believe that race is going to be. So make sure you replay this broadcast, maybe rewind, get all that information that Justin just dropped there for that charity event coming up just around the corner. But I believe it is time, Jacob, to catch up with the man who gets his second win on the season. The 36 machine of Brody Disher did everything he had to do to take home the checkered flag here tonight. Brody, take us through what was a high-octane race here tonight at Lucas Oil.
Yeah. First and foremost, I want to apologize to anybody that got involved in that incident late in the race. I know over the mic I had apologized. I did not mean to do that. I really didn't. So it is what it is. I know people are gonna be mad and people don't, take the apology, but I really do mean it. But anyway, the race, I mean, in the beginning it was rough. I got into the wall. I was really tight there for a while. And I needed that first yellow. I think the first few yellows. After that, once we had that first green flag run, um, I was just really tight off the corners and was losing a lot of time. But once that next yellow came out, I was able to go in, get my right front fix, and then from then on, we just had to work our way through the field. And I mean, overall, it was fun coming through the field. It was really fun battling. I was gonna have, we were gonna have a really good battle there at the end, but I obviously made that mistake that costed, them guys to end up with damage and whatnot. But at least I was able to come out on top. I'm still happy with it. It is what it is. We're going to next week.
Absolutely. And Brody, through the controversy there at the end of the race, you still did a great job there on those restarts. How nervous were you to have to go through 2 overtimes, especially with that second one being the final restart of the night, so whatever happened there was going to be the end of it? And we kind of assumed that Jordan Tross was going to be out of it after what had happened, but he was right on your back bumper right after what had happened. How nervous were those 2 overtime restarts for you there in the lead?
Yeah, no, honestly, like that first one, I got a really good jump, and so I was pretty happy with that one. And then that yellow came out, and I was like, dang, because I had to do it again, and this time with Justin on my outside with way newer tires. So I just had to lock in from there. I was really nervous. Got a good start. He did too. Just I knew I had to hold myself down to the middle and couldn't let him get a run onto the outside, and that's exactly what I was able to do and come home with the win.
Now, Brody, this puts you in a great category. This puts you with 2 wins on the season. You're joining the likes of Jordan Tross, Ryan, and Philbrick with those 2 wins as well. And Brody, we talked to you a few weeks ago. We said this was going to be a kind of take it and see it type of deal. How are you feeling, though, now with 2 wins underneath your belt and you're starting to find your groove here in Ratfink?
Yeah, I'm definitely pumped. I really like these trucks. I can't wait to really be in the points battle next season because we got in here a little late. But yeah, it's a really good time. I really like running with these guys. And I have a lot of respect for a lot of them. It's just overall a good time, and can't wait to see what the future comes.
Jacob, anything for our race winner before we let him go celebrate here at Lucas Oil?
No, sir, Brody. Congratulations on the win. Obviously, like you said, there will be some controversy in terms of what happened late in the race with that caution. But, unfortunately, mistakes happen, and, it's all about how you go about it and moving forward. And as one of the league admins, appreciate you, making the apology to everyone. Again, like you said, not everyone's going to take it, but ultimately at the end of the day, it takes a man to step up and say, "Hey, I made a mistake. Here I am." But again, it's time to move on to week 9 and keep on trucking along.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. It is what it is. I appreciate you guys for doing the broadcast, everything. I want to give a shout out to everybody that helps me out. Ryan, Yates, McIntosh, Victor, all those guys over at Bad Company, Badger State Simworks, RFRL, obviously, for all these races all the time. Anybody I missed, and like I said, most importantly, you guys for putting on the show. Thank you.
Absolutely. And that's Brody Disher in the 36 machine. And Brody, we appreciate you taking the time with us here, my man. And congratulations on your 2nd win of the season so far in Ratfink. And without further ado, Jacob, that's going to be our podium finishers with Brody Disher, Justin Clapper, and Jordan Tross. And, throughout all the controversy, it was a great drive, though, out of the 36 machine. As he talked about, he faced some adversity, fought through that, came back up through the field, basically had to race his way through the field. And it wasn't until the last portion of the race where that controversy really kind of brewed up. Other than that, the 36 with a great drive. 63 with a great drive as well, his best finish of the season so far. Jordan Tross, we talked to him, that podium finisher. Tony Bertelson, great run out of that 97, finishing in 4th. Dakota Reeder, 5th. John Crosby, 6th. Tyler Waltz, he finishes in that 7th spot. Great top 10 finish out of that 54. Anthony Harden keeps that streak alive as well, finishing in that 8th spot. Cody Deek in 9th. Jonathan McIntosh, 10th. And then some guys, we'll get into Zachary Wynn, finishing 16 spots from the good in that 11th spot. Sean Dion, Jacob, look at Sean Dion in that 3 machine, finishing 12th. What a way to scrape out a good finish.
Yeah, no, that's what, actually, so him and Cody Deek, I thought they were going to be out of the race, and shockingly, Cody, he made a top 10 finish, so, kudos to him, especially with getting to the few accidents that he was involved in. But man, yeah, no, I'm looking at the leaderboard right now and I was kind of shocked. Sean Dion up 16 spots from where he started. I'm like, dang, okay.
Yeah. Also, just below him, too, Brent Thompson in that 45. We saw all the issues we saw out of him. He's able to get a top 15 out of tonight's race. Thomas Wynn right there. He's going to book in that top 15. Brian Sousa there just outside. Brendan Yates, we spoke about him. And then we're going to get into some guys that were some great contenders in this race, just ran into some issues. And then when you run into issues at short tracks, we all kind of know how that goes. You can never really find your way back. And that's going to be the likes of Mark Holloway back there in the 56, Justin Carey in the 33, Keith Vaughn going to finish in the 20th position when he really had a top 10, top 5 truck all night long. Tom Ringer, same thing. Chad Thompson, the 70, had a great run up there and then unfortunately was collected. Ryan Philbrick, boy, not the finish he was hoping for here tonight. We're going to finish 3 laps down. Two race winner on the season, going to finish 23rd. Victor Etheridge down there as well. He's going to finish 34 laps down there in that 6th machine. And then Nate Lesko, Brandon Hinton, we're going to see Jessica Bowman down there as well. And a lot of big names that we're not used to seeing there going to finish outside of the top 15. And I'd have to say, Jacob, that's just really short track racing. Elbows out. We saw some fenders. We saw some door banging. This race was just really another exciting Tuesday night truck race, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, that's unfortunately, again, some of our top competitors, Ryan, like you said, Ryan Philbrick, Nate Lesko, just kind of seeing those guys out of the, top 10, top 15, not really the way that they probably wanted their night to end, but, we'll come back next week and, see what kind of show they'll put on, because I'm sure, especially with the way that they compete, they're going to have a fire underneath them at the end of the day.
And that goes, if I could just tail end off of that, Jacob, it goes to say with Brody Disher's win here tonight, we haven't seen a back-to-back winner in almost 4 weeks since that back-to-back of Jordan Tross. So it just goes to show how this competition is really starting to find its groove. You're starting to see some drivers rise to the top. You're also start to see some new names break through. We have Anthony Harden again finishing inside of the top 10, Dakota Reeder inside of the top 5. So starting to really see some new names break through. Brody Disher now has 2 wins. So just a lot of storylines here as this season starts to tick down almost to the halfway point.
Yeah, no, that's like I said, we probably not the way that Brody would have liked to get, that first place. But, again, it's racing. Stuff happens, in the most professional way I could put it, but and it's good to see Dakota back up front. Would like to see him get another win, and then another one as well is Tyler Waltz. He's been outside of the top 10 the past few races, but it's nice to see him up there slowly but surely getting those points to possibly get a podium finish of the season.
Absolutely. Well, folks, you'll have to wait until next Tuesday to see if those new names or those names that we mentioned break through. And we're going to go out west for another short track, but a little short track that everybody's going to be a little more familiar with. And it's where the championship race ends, I suppose. That's kind of funny to me. But Phoenix Raceway Oval, as we're going to go to next week. So 120 laps out in the desert in week number 9, as we're just about reached that halfway point here in the season. And it's really anybody's championship. We're seeing great runs out of these guys, but we're also seeing new names rise to the top of the grid. But folks, if you've liked what you watched here tonight, the Ratfink Racing League, go ahead, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You want to stay aware of everything happening here in Ratfink, especially on Thursday nights, where we're going to now be broadcasting the Next Gen series. So stay tuned for that coming on Thursday night. But for all of us here on a Tuesday night in the Truck Series, we want to send a big congratulations to Brody Disher, who picks up his second win of the season. Not without controversy, though, but a great drive nonetheless. Out of the 36, has to hang his hat on that. But for myself, William Tiller, Jacob Williams, the guy doing two jobs. He's both commentator and producer back there on the boards. We want to wish everybody a great night, and we'll catch you back here next Tuesday for some more Ratfink Racing League action here on Tuesday.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Ooh, that sucks. My wife freaking. Ooh.
Yeah.